Hey everybody, Smart Silver Stacker here. Hope you're doing well. Stacking gold and silver on a budget is a very important topic to cover at this time because a few reasons. The first being that the price of both gold and silver is on the rise. Now, at the time I'm recording this video today, we are actually seeing a little bit of a pullback in the price of the metals. First thing you want to look at for stacking on a budget is days like today are probably when you want to stack, not on days when the price of the metals is moving up. But if you look at the 6-month chart of both gold and silver, you can see both metals are up significantly over that period of time. So as the price of the metals goes up, and specifically the price of physical bullion products, coins, rounds, bars, all of that stuff has been moving up even faster than the paper spot price as interest in the precious metals has increased following the economic catastrophe with the banks, following this global de-dollarization move, all the uncertainty surrounding the dollar's role in the global economy. Folks are moving into this space. So in an environment like this, very important to be conscious of the price that you're paying for bullion, especially if you are on a budget, if you're making small purchases, because gold and silver, like a lot of products, if you buy on volume, you typically get a better price. Now, because they are commodities, this is only true to some extent. If you're buying $10,000 worth of gold or silver versus $100,000, there's probably not a huge price break there. But if you're buying a few dollars worth of silver or a few $100s worth of gold or silver, then you certainly need to pay attention to how much you are paying to ensure you're getting the best deal possible, because you don't want to pay too much just because you're buying in small increments. But I can tell you, it is possible to get a good deal when you're buying gold or silver on a budget. Buy your gold and silver at sdbullion.com. Right now, new customers can get gold or silver at spot by visiting sdbullion.com/new. And if you are stacking on a budget and you're a new stacker, if you're new to this space because of this rising interest in the precious metals, you want some assets outside of the banking system, you want some assets that can't be inflated away, taking advantage of that spot deal is probably a great way to start your stack. But let's talk a little bit about shopping from online dealers. One thing you really need to pay attention to with online dealers is that you are not paying for shipping. A lot of dealers like SD Bullion, for example, they will have minimum order amounts that you need to place in order to qualify for free shipping. I believe over at SD Bullion right now it's $199. And I will say, if you are making a purchase smaller than that, you probably just want to wait, because getting that free shipping is a big deal when you're making these smaller purchases. Shipping, the price can vary, but somewhere usually in the range of $10 to $20 is what you're going to be paying for an order to ship it if you don't qualify for free shipping. And if you're buying $10,000 worth of silver, that's not really a big deal. An extra $10, who cares? But if you're buying $100 worth of silver, well, now your cost just went up by 10%. And that's pretty significant when you're talking about the precious metals. So if you're making smaller purchases, if you're on a budget, it's probably better to save some cash on a regular basis until you have enough to make a purchase that qualifies for the free shipping. That's the first tip I'm going to give to any stacker who is stacking gold or silver on a budget. Make sure you're not paying for shipping. Now, the other thing, like we were talking about volume discounts, typically with online dealers, there's going to be volume discounts with most of their listings. They will often have, say you buy, one Silver Eagle or 1 to 19, something like that, you're going to pay one price, where then if you buy 20 to 100, you'll pay another price. And maybe if you buy 500 or more, you're going to get the best price possible. But a lot of times, online dealers, SD Bullion and others, will have these sales where they have any quantity pricing, meaning if you order one item or 100, you're going to pay the same price. Those are probably the deals you want to look out for if you are stacking gold and silver on a budget and you're shopping with online dealers. Look for that any quantity pricing. That is certainly something that you want to take advantage of. You don't want to pay a higher price just because you are ordering in a smaller quantity. It's not necessary. The deals are out there. You can find them, but you just got to look. But let's say that you're buying a few dollars worth of silver at a time. That's actually how I got started stacking. I would go to my local coin shop and I would buy a Mercury dime or a Roosevelt dime, 90% silver dimes, for just a couple bucks. And maybe I'd buy a handful of them. And sometimes I would buy other junk silver like half dollars. I think right now one of these is going for about 13 bucks. So certainly, even if you're on a budget, junk silver is an affordable way to get your hands on some precious metals. And I'm glad I bought that junk silver when I did, because the premiums on junk silver, the coins themselves, have gone up in value quite a bit since that time. But I still think that junk silver is a great thing to look at for those of us who are stacking on a budget. If you just want to buy a few bucks worth of silver, go to your local coin shop and make sure you bring cash. That's another tip. Don't pay for your precious metals, big orders or small orders, with a credit card unless you really know what you're doing, because typically you're going to get a better price either from online dealers or physical brick and mortar stores where you go shop. If you bring cash, you're going to get a better deal, because the dealer is saving on not paying credit card fees, and you get to have those savings passed on to you. So definitely make sure you are paying with cash. And I do recommend you check out your local coin shop if you're a new stacker or if you are buying on a budget, because you don't have to hit any of those minimum orders. So it's certainly worth checking out your local store if you're lucky enough to have one. Not all of us have them. Some of us really just stack primarily through online dealers. I fall into that category. If I had a local coin shop, I would probably visit it on a regular basis, but I don't. So I am very happy to have places like Bullion where I can get a good price on precious metals online, and it is very convenient to shop online. Gold is a little bit of a different animal when it comes to stacking on a budget. I mean, this is a relatively small fractional piece of gold. This is a 10-gram Arger Haraeus bar. Now, I was lucky enough to buy this as part of a deal that Bullion was having last Black Friday. They had this available at spot. Now, when you're buying fractional bars, typically there is going to be some premium over the spot price. That's why I wouldn't recommend buying anything much smaller than this. I mean, maybe a 5-gram bar if you can get it for a good price, but you really need to pay attention to the price that you were paying per ounce with these fractional gold products, because the premiums on them, if you end up buying an ounce of gold, but in that form, it's usually going to cost you significantly more than an ounce of gold in a coin. So just make sure you're exercising caution when you're buying these fractional gold products, because fractional gold products are typically what those of us who are on a budget will be drawn to. Right now, a 1 ounce gold coin is going to cost you something like $2,000 plus. And, you know, the word budget kind of means different things to different people. But to me, those of us on a budget, probably not buying 1 ounce gold coins. You might be looking at bars like that, or you might be looking at something like a fractional gold coin like this. This is a 1/10 ounce gold eagle. Now I have it in this slip here because honestly, it's so small, it's just kind of hard to handle. And honestly, you know, I don't give advice on this channel. I just kind of tell you what I'm doing. I do have some of these 1/10 ounce gold coins. I probably wouldn't stack them moving forward because the premiums on them are very high. And I would move towards something like a 1/4 ounce coin because the premiums are a lot lower. Paying $230 for a 10 ounce or a 1/10 ounce coin when the spot price of gold is around 2,000, that's a pretty hefty premium. That's about a 15% premium, and that's about what those 1/10 ounce gold coins are going for right now. But if you can find them close to spot, there's certainly a good way to stack some gold on a budget. But still, that's about the smallest coin you're going to find. I mean, there are a few smaller products than that, but as far as recognizable common bullion coins, 1/10 ounce is about as small as you're going to get without paying a really exorbitant premium. But if you want to buy a few dollars worth of gold at a time, one thing you might look at is the Goldback. Now, the premiums on Goldbacks are even higher than they are on 1/10 ounce gold coins. In fact, if you buy a Goldback, typically you're going to be paying about double the spot price of gold. And if you're not familiar with these, what this is a note. It's actually made of gold, 24 karat gold. It's got a polymer substance that surrounds it. You can see on the back here, there's like some security features and a reverse image of the artwork on the front, but this is actual gold. And you can pick one of these up for around $4, I think, right now, maybe a little under. I think the official price is a little under $4. I will say that I actually feel a little bit more comfortable buying Goldbacks than 1/10 ounce gold coins. Now, let me tell you why. If you buy a 1/10 ounce gold coin, like I said, you're paying about a 15% premium over the spot price. But when you go to sell this 1/10 ounce gold coin, you're probably going to get spot. Maybe you'll get a little bit more. Maybe you'll recap some of that premium, but it's very unlikely that you are going to be able to sell it for 15% over the spot price. But the nice thing about Goldbacks is even though you're paying a high premium over the spot price of gold, when you go to sell this, at least in the current market environment, you're going to get all of that back. I mean, the spread between the buy and sell price of the Goldbacks is pretty narrow. A quick search on eBay will reveal that there is a very robust secondary market for these, and I just don't feel like it's really much of a problem, the premium issue. Now, I wouldn't make these my primary gold holdings if I'm doing some serious stacking, but if you are stacking on a budget and $230 is a little bit out of your price range, but you want to still get your hands on some physical gold, the Goldback is an amazing way to do that for just a few dollars. So I am quite fond of the Goldbacks. I view them as being a very unique product. They're hyper fractional gold, 1/1000th of a troy ounce. And there are some bigger Goldback notes. They make them in 5, 10, 25, and 50 Goldback denominations. And the cool thing about those is they are all kind of interchangeable. For example, a 5 Goldback note contains 5/1000ths of a troy ounce of gold, and the 50 Goldback note contains 50 thousandths, or I think, what is that, 1/20th, if I'm doing the math quickly in my head. So, they do have some larger notes, and you can pick those up for still a lot less than what you're paying for a 1/10 ounce gold coin. So Goldbacks has really fixed some of that problem of being able to get your hands on physical gold at that lower entry point into the market. But as for me, I focus most of my stacking on silver. Gold is nice to have, but if you're on a budget, silver really is the preferred metal, I believe, for stacking on a budget. And one thing we saw recently following the collapse of SVB and Signature Bank and the big influx into the precious metal space, we saw junk silver become very difficult to obtain. I think it's kind of becoming a little bit more available right now, but they haven't minted this stuff in a long time. The supply is kind of drying up, so this is a fantastic way to get some exposure to the price of physical silver for a budget. Like I said, it's smaller than a 1-ounce coin, and you can buy it just for a few dollars. You can get a dime, or if you can spend a little bit more than that, you can get a $0.50. And one thing that we saw was when the supply dried up, the $0.50 actually dried up the fastest, and SD Bullion was paying over spot. I think they still are for junk silver if you sold to them, but they were paying a premium for $0.50. So if you're going into the store and you're buying junk silver and you can see that the $0.50 are available for roughly the same price as a dime, and it's very easy to do. You just look at what the price of 5 dimes would be and compare that to the price of a $0.50, because that would both be a 50 cents face value of junk silver. And if you can get a $0.50 for the same price, you can get 5 dimes. You probably want to take the $0.50, because recent experience shows that those are even in a slightly tighter supply situation than the dimes and the quarters. So anyway, this is just some basic info for stacking precious metals on a budget. I think there's some important considerations there, though. To recap it, just don't pay for shipping. Make sure you're getting any quantity pricing, and don't get eaten up with fees. And just make sure that you're not overpaying for your precious metals, because if you're on a budget, you want to make sure that you are getting the most metal for your money. And that's really just something you always want to try and do when you're stacking, regardless of how much you're buying. But hope this video was helpful. Leave me a comment down below to let me know what you think. If you have any tips for stacking gold or silver on a budget, I would love to hear them. Thanks for watching, everybody. Stay safe and happy stacking. I'll catch you next time. Smart Silver Stacker out.